We're going to go ahead and set it for 1 hour. Like I was saying, you can subscribe to my multiple networks: Facebook, Periscope, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and as well as my podcasts. Click that subscribe button if you have the opportunity, or like or comments. So I just got a message here on the Periscope here. It says, "Good morning." So that was Dewey. How you doing? How's it going out there? So today I'm going to start talking a little bit about mentality and how we enable our mentality and how we start to decide what's positive in our lives. And so part of deciding, very cool, is that you have to recognize what you will accept to live with and what you won't accept to live with. Okay, if you want to be in a commit with somebody, you want to be with somebody and they want to be with you, they have to respect your ability to decide on the things that you won't do. Okay, and so if you are putting things and substances above your ability to be with that person, then you're really not caring about that person themselves. So how do we start to get to the point where we start to have boundaries, where we start to respect ourselves and we don't allow ourselves to drop in our mentality? Now, as we focus, as we put ourselves in a place where we're utilizing our challenges, as we're putting ourselves in a place where we start to enable our minds, we start to recognize the things that we do not want in our lives. Those things that are not bringing us towards positivity, not bringing us towards ourselves, and not bringing us towards overcoming our challenges. And so, if you're with somebody and they're going through challenges right now, there's a certain amount of understanding until it starts to hurt them. So if it's something that's actually hurting them, if it's actually doing something to them to where you feel that it's not something that you can put up with in your life, then they have to make the choice for themselves to either care more about you or that. And so this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about addictions. I'm talking about the things that a lot of people aren't willing to talk about. I'm talking about the challenges that will make or break a company, a relationship, or anything that you're going through today. And so once you've made a decision for the things that you will not allow in your life, you got to let the people know that you will not allow that to be a part of your life. So if they want the position, if they want to be your companion, if they want to be with you, they have to recognize that, and they have to accept the terms that not only they set, but also you set as well too. So if you're wanting to become a health person, but yet you're eating hamburgers and you're lounging down, that doesn't work out. So that's what I'm trying to say here. So you got to put yourself in a place where your mentality starts to grow, where your ability starts to grow, where the person that you are inside starts to come out, where you start to believe in yourself and you will not settle for less than the best that you have inside of you. Now, how do we start to make that possible? How do we start to focus into that? Well, we have to look at the things that are not bringing us happiness. We have to look at the challenges and the stories from our past that show us exactly where we are today, what challenges we're facing off against, and what we're focusing into. So I want to start talking about what will bring positivity. When you start to recognize that the people that you're spending time with are helping you out, that they're actually there for you, that you have the ability to choose who you want to be around, who you want to spend time with, who you want to manifest around you. And so, are you putting yourself in a place where your vibration is utilizing that, where the people that are possibly might have a exact reason why they will not allow that type of stuff to be around them is because they are structured to the point where they will not allow themselves to be a part of that lifestyle. So how do we start to focus in on that ability inside of ourselves to overcome our own addictions. See, they're not easy. That's why they're called addictions. It's not like something that you start today and that you end tomorrow. It's something that you're going to be working with your whole life. And so if you recognize that somebody is more important than those challenges that you're facing off against, at a certain point inside yourself, you either agree with how they feel or you disagree. Now, if you choose to disagree and you start to put yourself in a place where you expect them to be understanding when they're not going to be understanding because they've already explained to you that they have boundaries that are not going to happen, they have things that are not going to be a part of their life, then you've just brought yourself towards negativity. You just put yourself in a place where you're pushing away the positivity of those people that actually are there to uplift you, that are in a mentality to bring you closer to yourself, that are actually helping you to grow. And so, how do we start to put our mentality in that type of place where we start utilizing it, where we start enabling it, where we start believing in ourselves, where we start believing in the ability? And the first way to do that is to not be afraid to communicate, not be afraid to talk things through, even when they're not perfect, even when you know you're facing off against a challenge. Now, people that really care about you, people that really want you to be a part of their life, they're going to tell you, look, I'm not okay with that. If you want to work to get through it, I'm okay with doing that with you, but I will never accept that in my life. Okay? So people that really care about you are not going to accept you for less than they believe you are. They will not accept you for less than the beauty that you have inside. They will not accept you for less than the person that they believe you can become and that you are inside of you. So how do we start to put ourselves on a page where we start to believe that we can do that? That we can achieve that kind of mentality, that we can put ourselves in a place where what we're utilizing does not have the ability to hold us back, does not have the ability to stop us from who we are, does not have the ability to hold you and to be hidden. So first you must face off against it. You must not acknowledge it that it is stronger than you, that you're choosing this route, you're choosing this angle, that you're choosing to go on that way, that you're looking at it as something that other people are stopping you from. And so, are we putting our mentality in a positive place? Are we putting it into an ability for us to recognize that we can do this, that we can achieve it, that we can believe in ourselves to the point where we can overcome our challenges? And that was a question that I had to come across once already, in a place where I was looking at myself becoming healthier, but yet I was still eating hamburgers. Okay? Look, I'm not trying to tell people what to do. Okay? I'm telling only what to be a part of my life takes. And I want to inspire you all to see that for yourselves, that if you see and you value the person that you're with, you have to hear where their boundaries are. You have to hear where they decide either this is what it's going to be or let them go their own way. Now, if you allow that, if you put yourself in a place where you allow that to move out of the way on its own, then recognize that positivity has the ability to start filling the void. If you start bringing yourself towards negativity, if you bring yourself towards things that are going to swallow you, that are going to bring you down, that aren't going to help you to become a healthier, spiritual, mental, and focused person, then you get to keep the results. People that are not healthy, that are not spiritual, that are not focused, and that are not going to bring you closer to growing inside of yourself are going to come your way. They're going to come your way in a way in which they're going to ask you if you will start to do that. They'll start to sink you. They'll start to make you feel like you can't swim. And so, are we focused to that point where we're using that? Are we focused into where we recognize the positivity in our lives, where we start to recognize the ability inside of ourselves to overcome our challenges, that we recognize that our mentality is the ability, and that care comes from knowledge, my friends. Care comes from the ability to know that these are positive and that these are negative things. That I'm not going to bring negativity into my life. I'm not going to allow it to be around me. I'm not going to allow it to be a part of who I am. It's not going to become a part of my inner circle. It's not going to become a part of who I am. It's not going to affect me, because I'm not going to allow myself to be in that type of a situation where I have to ask myself, is this what I truly want to do in my life? Now, you see, are we asking ourselves that on a daily basis? Are we putting ourselves in that place where what we're focusing into, what the people that are coming in our way, that are focusing through the challenges that are by our side, is actually focusing in towards positivity, focusing in towards things that are bringing us closer to who we truly are on the inside? See, when we're seeking out to sink, that's what we get to do. If you start putting water in a boat, don't expect the boat will swim, that it will float, because at a certain point that boat will sink. If you start finding somebody who's wanting to take out water out of that boat, who wants to lighten your load, that wants to bring you closer to yourself, that wants you to open up yourself, and says, look, I won't do these types of things, I won't be a part of this, and you still want to sink, the only person sinking at that point is yourself. So, yes, knowledge is a reflection of love. Yes, when you really truly care about somebody and you know that they're hurting themselves, you have a choice to either allow them to continue to hurt themselves or to tell them that I won't put up with it, and if you care to be around me, then this is not going to become a part of my life. So let me go ahead and start talking about ways to overcome this kind of challenge. If you're in a profession and people are not positive around you, you can find a little bit of time in your day to close your mind off and to start to become positive. You can start to see the procedures as they are. You can start to see how you're doing things in such a way that positivity can start vibrating around you, can start vibrating within you. If you can start to put your mind in a place where your mentality starts to open up, it will enable you to overcome those challenges. It will enable you to start to ask yourself the question. It will enable you to be who you are on the inside. And that's why it's important that you don't allow people that would hold you back from being who you are inside to stop that part of yourself, that they don't have the ability to hold you back from who you are on the inside. They don't have the ability to hold you back from what's going to bring positivity in your direction, that's going to help you to overcome your challenges, that is going to help your mentality to open up. And so, are we focusing to that level? Are we truly putting ourselves in that kind of place to where our mentality starts to open, where we start to achieve things, where what we're attracting is positivity, what we're going through, we give ourselves the permission to overcome? So, what is it that you're focused into? Are you focused into things that are bringing you down, or are you focused into things that are lifting you up? Are you putting yourself in a place where your mentality opens up? Are you seeing that the people who truly love you, as you might call it, that is the emotion of love, are actually knowledge, and they know how they feel about you, they know that they care about you, they know that they actually do love you? See, these are the types of questions that I ask. These are the types of questions that we should be asking ourselves. Is it really worth losing that person for that addiction? Or am I willing to start to see that it's not a positive thing in my life? Am I willing to put myself in a place, and I see people that are wonderful people that don't see what I'm saying. They see a view of you have to understand the things that hurt people are literally things that they have to work through, things that they have to work on. And each of us have addictions, each of us have things to work through, you can't sit there and acknowledge it and start to embrace your addictions. You got to work on overcoming them. You got to put yourself in a place where you give yourself the ability to grow, where you give yourself the ability to have your mentality, where you give yourself the ability to have the permission to be who you are inside. And so if you've already been in a situation where those things won't bring you closer to positivity, they won't bring you closer to having a spiritual ability, an open ability inside of yourself, and open your mentality and open your health and your being, and bring you closer to being present within yourself, then that is where you got to start going inwards and start asking yourself the questions. Start asking yourself, what challenges am I working with today? What is it that I'm really doing? And sometimes if you're not willing to face your addictions, you will truly lose people who truly love you. You will lose the people who truly care about you. You will truly lose the people who want to be there and want to build a future with you. So it's not that the addictions won't come up. It's that you got to acknowledge it. You got to recognize that you can overcome it. That when you put yourself in a place where you start to embrace and it might be leaving those type of situations that are in bringing you and promoting those type of things. If you know that you have an addiction to smoking and alcohol, but you go to a place where they smoke and they do alcohol, then it's not going to bring you closer to not smoking and doing alcohol to continue to be around those kind of people. It will only bring you closer to being more healthy if you put yourself in a place where you're not in that kind of mentality, where you're not with those kind of people, where they don't have the ability to hold you back and to bring you closer to things that will bring you down. And so, how do we start to focus through those kind of challenges? How do we find ourselves sometimes in holes, and how do we dig ourselves out? How do we put ourselves in a place where we can have a positive mentality? First, we must see what in positive things are being embraced, that sometimes when people truly love you, they stand up, they actually fight for how they feel. They actually set boundaries down and say, those are not things that I will accept. And if you truly love me, you got to work through it. You got to overcome it for yourself. And so I have addictions too. I have things that I fight with as well. I have things that, in fact, that I have recognized that when I'm fighting through those addictions, if I do certain things, and I found that if I'm with certain people, that those addictions that I have go away. And so, how do I start to embrace myself in such a way that I start to get the mentality that I don't allow those types of things to happen around me? I don't allow those things to happen to me by not embracing them, by not actually literally putting them on a pedestal, by not giving them the ability to have the power over me. And so how do we start to focus to that point? Do we push away the people that actually help us to become uplifted? Or do we embrace the people who actually help us to become uplifted, who end up bringing how they feel and start to speak to you and actually start to literally open up to you, start to open their mentality? And you see, sometimes it won't be easy. People who really care about you are not always going to agree with you. They're not always going to say that it's okay. If they see ways that it hurts you, they're not going to hold themselves back and say, well, that's okay. It just will never happen. When you believe in yourself, when you start to see the self-esteem start to grow, when you start to see the ability to start to swim, to start to breathe, to start to be who you are on the inside, you got to ask yourself, is this bringing me positivity? Is it bringing me the ability to breathe? Is it bringing me the ability to believe in myself? Is it bringing me the ability to focus to overcome my challenges? Am I embracing the people who are there to uplift me? And so you see, in mentality, focusing is knowledge. So when we put ourselves in a place where we allow those types of things to leave our life, if we're putting ourselves in a place where, those types of things are available, don't be surprised if you start to sink. If you start to regress, instead of going forward in life, you start to go backwards in life. You start to feel trapped. You start to feel the things that aren't bringing you closer to yourself, and that the people who truly do care about you, the ones that really focus into mentality, that utilize the boundaries inside of themselves, won't allow those things to be around them, is the reason why is because they believe in themselves to the point where they want to uplift you. They believe in themselves to the point where they're not going to put up with it. They're not going to literally let it become a part of their day. And so, I think of a amazing person who is allowing that type of thing to hold them back, is allowing themselves to embrace things that are not bringing out the beauty inside of them, that is not bringing them closer to that. And internally, I know that if they truly do feel that kind of care, if they really do, they'll focus to the point where they'll recognize that those things can't be a part of their life, because they're pushing positivity out of their life, okay, is what it is. They're pushing positive things. They're pushing positive things. They're expecting understanding and things that are hurting them. So a person who really cares about you isn't going to understand you hurting yourself. And they're not going to allow you to be around them when you hurt yourself, or even when you're not hurting yourself, when you're not actually being honest to them. It's amazing that when you focus on what you truly want, you get to keep it. If you want to focus into becoming a light in the universe, then don't go dark in the room on yourself. Don't bring it to a place where your challenges are, where you force the people that are around you to go inwards, where what they're going through, they're facing off against, because the person that you are inside is a light, okay? And when you put a smoke screen on top of your light, it doesn't help you to swim. It holds you back, in fact, from swimming. And I recognize that the first person that we got to know is ourselves. We got to know that those things are not positive. Those things, those challenges, those things that we go through will not bring us closer to being ourselves. They will not bring us close to overcoming our challenges. And when we start to recognize that, when we stop embracing the things that stop us, the things that truly are holding us back. I'm sitting here looking at a shake, and at a certain point, I had to recognize that eating meat was not healthy for my diet. It was not going to bring me closer to being that person that I am inside until I cut the meat out of my diet. Now, if you're in a place where you see that things like alcohol and smoking and other things, like even pornography is holding you back, then you don't go to embrace it. You recognize that a way in which you're going to remove that from your life. You start to come up with a path. You start to come up with a journey. You start to put yourself around people that are not going to allow that to be a part of their life, that are not going to embrace that kind of mentality, that kind of ability, that kind of habits, that are not going to bring positivity towards you. It's not going to bring positivity into you. It's not going to bring positivity into your mentality. And you see, they're not going to embrace that because it's not going to allow you to go forward or to grow. If they truly want you to grow with them, they're going to say no way. If they truly love you, if they truly know how they feel about you, then they're not going to allow that type of a thing to be around them. They're going to tell you where their boundaries are, what they're not going to allow to happen to them any longer. And it's up to you to see if that what you have with what they are is a positive thing in your life or not. It's up to you to start to decide that for yourself, to start to see that what you have going on, you can overcome. What you're going through is not meant to hold you back. And so, where is your mentality? Where is your ability to sit down and write things down when your challenges are facing off against you? When you sit down, you give yourself an space where you give yourself a little bit of time to think about what you're doing. Think about what you're doing to the people who truly love you, who actually know you and believe in you, who believe that you are greater than your challenges, that you are a beautiful being on the face of the planet. Are you going to light that being up? Are you going to destroy that person inside of yourself? Or are you going to fight those addictions? Are you going to embrace the way they feel about you? Or are you going to look at it in a way in which they're trying to put rules over you? See, a lot of people don't follow rules, okay? It's when they want to be around somebody so bad that they realize that that thing is not positive because it's not going to bring them in a positive direction. It's not going to bring them to a place where they're using that part of themselves, where they're focused to the point that you can do things that other people would call impossible, that you can believe in yourself, that you can build a beautiful future, that the person that they might not have known, that might be throwing up a smoke screen, that might be going out drinking, that might be going out partying, is not who you truly are on the inside. And when you decide that, sometimes you're going to have to cut things off. Sometimes you're going to have to remove those things that are not bringing you towards your true beauty, not bringing you towards your true self, not bringing you towards your true mentality. And that is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about believing in yourself and focusing in to what you want to achieve. What are your dreams? What are the things that you truly want? Do you truly want to put yourself in a place where you hold yourself back, where you're with people who just know you because you're a part of the crowd? Or do you want to truly have a tailor-made life? Do you truly want to have a true companionship with people who want to be a part of your life, who want to care about you, who want to truly be able to fight for you? How do we start to do that? How do we start to allow those types of people to be around us? How do we start to allow ourselves to truly see the beauty that we have inside unless we sit down and study ourselves? I think of a certain person, and the thing that I would recommend is for them to go back through their notes, to look at the times when they were fighting that addiction for themselves, and to start to recognize that, and to start to go on an inwards journey, and to start to seek out positivity, and to start to see how the people that were actually positive in their life are what they should be following. They shouldn't be following people just because of a scene, just because of a mentality, just because the other people feel like you should do that. So look at what you're doing in this time frame, within this mentality, within this ability inside of yourself, and what you're actually focusing into, what you actually truly want to become. And ask yourselves that question: am I focused into that? Am I putting my mentality into that place where I am starting to breathe, where I am starting to believe in myself, where I'm starting to care about myself, where I'm starting to become that person, where I'm starting to become physically strong, mentally strong, spiritually strong, and emotionally strong? Because that is a part of becoming a beautiful human being. Okay, it's not falling back into a shell and not facing off against your challenges. It's not holding yourself back from the beauty that you have inside. It's not stopping yourself. It's facing off against those challenges, believing in yourself, believing in your being. And those people who truly care about you, those ones that truly know that you're greater than your challenges, they're not going to say, "Oh, poor me." They're going to say, "I believe that you can overcome those challenges, and that if you want to be with me, that's what it's going to take." And so how do we start to get inwards? How do we start to use those kind of challenges on a inwards journey? How do we start to sit down with ourselves and to study and to start to reflect and to start to manifest and to start to see that when positivity starts coming our ways, even when we have a difficult day, even when we're going through things that nobody else can, even when we're putting ourselves in a place where the mentality starts opening up, that we can believe in ourselves, that we can believe that what we're going through we can overcome. So it's an inwards journey to face off against your challenges. It's not something to run from. It's not something to recognize that we can't overcome. It's something to put ourselves in a place where we believe in who we are on the inside. It's a part of who you are to be beautiful. It's a part of who you are to recognize that you can do it, that you can achieve it. And I look at those types of things. I look at emotion as knowledge. And when you decide that things are not positive, that they're not bringing you towards positivity, that they're not bringing you closer to your ability to believe in yourself, that they're not bringing you closer to overcoming your challenges, that they're not bringing you closer to it, and you start to go inwards, you start to go to the place inside of yourself where you start to focus through those kinds of challenges, where you start to put yourself in a place where your challenges are not greater than you, you will find that the heat inside of you is greater than your challenges. You will find that the person inside of who you are, that you can overcome your challenges, that you can believe in yourself. And that is what I'm talking about today. I am talking about how we have to have a commitment with ourselves. We have to commit to knowing ourselves, to recognizing what's positive in our lives, what's negative in our lives, what we're going to allow to become a part of our lives. And so, when you're putting yourself in a place where your mentality starts to open up, when you're putting yourself in a place where you focus through the challenge, where you're putting yourself in a place where you believe in who you are, where you're putting yourself in a place where you focus to the point where you can go through these kind of challenges, where you can grow through these kind of challenges, then the ability inside of yourself starts to open up. The ability inside of who you are starts to come out. The ability inside of what you believe in and what you will allow in your life starts to open the part of who you are. And so, how do we sit down and study to that level? How do we start to put ourselves in a place where the mentality starts to open up, where what we're going through no longer has the ability to hold us back? And you see, I will not allow myself to be in a place where I let things hold me back. I will not allow myself to go through challenges that will bring me down. I will not allow myself to be the person who will put one's mentality in a place of disabling it. It won't happen. And in an inwards journey, please recognize that who you are inside matters the most. The challenges that you're going through, the things that you're facing off against, the people who want to become a part of your life, who want to believe in themselves, that want to manifest their being, that want to focus to the point where the challenges they can overcome. And so, are we focusing to that point? Are we putting ourselves in that place? Are we manifesting who we are on the inside? And so, how do we work through those kind of challenges? How do we get to the point where what we're going through no longer has the ability to hold us back? And it's inside of who we are. that we start to know ourselves. It's inside of who we are that we start to spend time inside of who we are. It's inside of ourselves that we start to see the things that are positive in our life, that bring us closer to overcoming our challenges, that our mentality starts to open up to, that our ability inside of who we are. And so, are you focusing to that point where that is what you're attracting? Are you focusing to the point where that is what you're bringing towards yourself? And I see this on a daily basis, okay? I see that there's a lot of people that bring themselves towards things. They say that they truly care until you truly tell them how you really truly feel. Okay? So it isn't versus somebody else. It's not for somebody else that you go inwards. It's inside of yourself that you go to learn the stories inside of you. It's inside yourself that you go to face off against your challenges. It's inside of yourself that you learn to believe in who you are. And that's what separates me from other people, okay? Is that when I really care about somebody, when I know that something will not bring them closer to themselves, I will not embrace it. I will not embrace it because I want them to know how much I really truly care about them. I want them to know. Sure, absolutely. You can definitely call in. I'll do an energy reading, yeah. That's what knowledge is, okay? It's truly being truthful. Hello, blessings. How you doing?
I'm doing good. For you?
Ooh. Wow, you found a lot of, in your life, you're in a place where a lot of the things that you do, you have a lot of thought process in it. And not talking about worry, I'm talking about depth. You see a lot of depth.
Yeah.
And so, life has been good to you, hasn't it?
It has. It has. I've had some hills to climb, but I've come out on top, definitely.
Yeah. Well, one of the biggest challenges that, I have been facing off against is that when we start to understand ourselves. So if you look back through all of that, I imagine even if you look around you, you can see purple. You just look around you, you see it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the reason why is because that's the field that you live in. So depth perception is the purple color within the colors of spectrum of energy within the body.
Okay.
So that's exactly instantly how I can tell that that's the thing that you work with the most.
Okay.
So that's also the reason why if you look around you, you can actually see purple too. So the challenge with purple energy now is that they see so far into the future that things of the past get left behind. Are you with me? So a lot of the place where people with a dominant purple energy have a challenge is in worry.
Okay.
One of the ways to overcome that kind of worry is to actually put the things in front of yourself and to start to lay it down to what you will accept and what you won't accept.
Okay. Yeah.
Because then the worry gets eliminated.
That makes good sense. Yes.
So energy in every person, it flows, and what a lot of people don't acknowledge is that the word emotion comes from, at the beginning of the word emotion comes E, and that has emotion. So if you remove the E, it's actual action. How are you using your energy? So it's a positive thing to have every type of energy. It just matters how that energy is applied.
Okay.
So it's really a positive thing to utilize that. One of the biggest places that is a challenge for purple energies is in the heart.
Okay.
Because the depth between the heart And the depth perception is closer to the nervous system, so they feel the things that are going on around them because they're present. And so it's important that we use our energy in such a way that we start to understand it. And so,
Okay. I got a call, so I got kicked out. Yeah.
Okay. So the areas that are closest to someone with depth perception is the nervous system and the ability to voice oneself.
Okay.
You already know that, though. So the places that are farther down, like the yellow energy field, like the heart energy, like the other energy fields that are not up there, have a challenge. And one of the biggest areas of challenge is people with red energy.
Okay.
See what I'm saying? So if you ask yourself who you react with, who you relate with, who you have around you, you'll instantly be able to start seeing what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So
like this guy that I'm talking to, I don't know what color his energy is, but he seems to want to connect with me.
It's okay. But you got to understand how to use your ability of the things that you have inside and recognize that the people you want to have around you are people with that same kind of depth perception, who are actually in a place where they're vocal and can voice themselves, and that their nervous system is aware.
Okay.
They got to be aware. They got to be constantly in the mentality of being aware,
Okay.
So, are you seeing what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So that is how energy works. So the thing that's dominant inside is actually the purple energy field. It has to deal a lot with how you think and how you act and the things that you go through, and how you use your energy is more so about thinking about the future. And it doesn't mean about what's going on. It's every single scenario itself. The way in which the depth perception works, if you ask yourself how you operate, you can almost guarantee that it comes through your depth perception.
Okay.
You're always trying to be present in the situation. You're always trying to see how far ahead we can think, how we can use those types of things. And that is a part of the energy which you can embrace. It's not to not be embraced. It's to use those types of things to overcome the other challenges. Do you get what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So that's what energy reading does, is it helps you to understand that energy that already flows inside of you.
Okay. I got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. You have a blessed day, okay?
You too. All right. Bye-bye.
So when we focus and we have confidence in ourselves and we believe in who we are on the inside, and we start to put ourselves in a place where our mentality starts to open up and our ability starts to open up, and we start to focus to the point where we overcome our challenges and we start to believe in ourselves and we start to believe in what we can do and what we can achieve, then other people start believing in themselves too. They start to recognize that when you're growing inside, when you're believing in yourself inside, when you're going through your challenges and you're going through the things that might be holding you back, when you're starting to focus to the point where it doesn't stop you from who you are, then the ability for growth inside, then the ability for understanding, then the ability to overcome your challenges start to open up to you. And when we focus to a place where we utilize what we have inside of ourselves, I am a Pisces, and we use that mentality, and the people that are around us, the challenges that they're facing off against, the things that they're going through, are a wonderful thing because you grow inside too. When we learn from each other, when we learn to believe in ourselves, when we learn to care about who we are on the inside and to put ourselves in a place where our mentality starts to open up, it's not going to be easy because you're going to face heat. You're going to face things. The universe sometimes is going to hit you with a dish to actually wake you up to understand this, that you are important, that you have a path, that you have a purpose, that the journey that you're on, that the things that you're going through, that the places that you're looking to go and the things that you're going through today are important. And so allowing those things their place, allowing them to open up to who they are inside, allowing them to believe in themselves, to grow inside of themselves, is not always going to be easy. Because sometimes it takes you going inwards to find yourself. Sometimes it takes shutting down the world to recognize what's positive in your life, what's positive within yourself. And I'm looking at a time right now where I already know how somebody feels about me, and I know how I feel about somebody. And who I am inside says that if they look inside of themselves, they'll recognize what I'm saying is actually positive. What I'm saying is actually helping them to grow. What I'm saying will help them to believe in themselves. And I know that I'm different than other people. Do you believe in yourself that you are different than other people? That you deserve people that will not allow you to be less than they believe you can be? See, that's the type of question we got to ask ourselves. Do we take the things to the surface where the knowledge comes out from within ourselves, where it starts to open us up to overcome our own challenges, or do we allow ourselves to disable that part of our knowledge inside of ourselves? And so it's on that level where what we're going through is not there to hold us back. It's there to uplift us. It's there to recognize that those people are that valuable that I'm willing to recognize that these things are negative in my life. I'm willing to work on them. I'm willing to work through them. And I'm willing to believe in myself. Now, I'm getting ready to go into meditation here soon. I'm getting ready to shut down inside to the part of this. I'm getting ready to sit down and to start to open up to that story, to see exactly what truly is going on, to start to gain that place through meditation. And I'm really in a place where I'm trying to hold that time for that person to recognize this for themselves. Do they really have a one-in-a-lifetime person who cares about them and cares about their ability to believe in themselves and cares about the person that they are inside? That they see beyond the emotion, they see the person inside, they see the growth, and that is true understanding. And I'm recognizing that a lot of people like to run from their challenges. They like to run from their ability. They like to run from the knowledge that they know that the things that they're doing are not going to bring them closer to being themselves. So if you're out there and you're listening to this message and you're putting yourself in a place where you feel those people don't really love you, recognize that they truly do love you with knowledge, with care, with a type of dominance within oneself to believe in oneself. When we start to believe in ourselves, when we start to know ourselves, then the reflection of self-love starts to come out. Then the belief that it's possible to overcome those kind of challenges comes out. Then the understanding that you are a blessing within the universe starts to come out. And so, as we allow those negative things to leave our life, you will start to notice that positivity starts to fill it. Positivity starts to open up within it. Positivity starts to become a part of it. And so, if you're embracing things that are trying to hold you back, if we're embracing things that are not bringing us closer to being healthy, being spiritual, being mentally clean, physically strong, then the people around us that really truly care about us, if they say no problem, then what they're really saying to you is that they don't care about you. What they're really saying to you is that they don't know about how much they believe in you. What they are saying to you is that they don't really truly love you. If they truly love you, they'll be the people to say, no, that is not a positive thing in your life. That is not going to bring you closer to believing yourself. That is not going to bring you closer to a positive ability, a positive mentality, a positive mentality. And so, let's go ahead and start visiting how we get inwards. When we start to know that our focus on our knowledge is important, that your being is important, that as a human being to be present within yourself, to face off against those things that might stop you from being able to breathe, that might stop you from being the beautiful person that you are inside, then you have to look at it. Look at the people that you're allowing to be around you, that you're allowing to be with you, that you're allowing to be a part of your person. And recognize that when you find somebody so special that they're willing to stick up for how they feel and believe about you inside, that right there is a true reflection of true love. And that when they care to that level where they're not going to feel a level of understanding for things that they know will hurt you, that will hold you back, that will bring vices to you, that will put you in a place where you're not able to believe in yourself, that will make you feel like you are less than who you are. And yes, exactly. So that is exactly it. A Periscope person just said, that is difficult to find. And the reason why is because those people are the ones you want to hold on to. Those are the people that will actually fight with you to care for yourself. They'll actually fight with you to love yourself, to know yourself, to be who you are on the inside. So start to use your focus and your knowledge to the point where you become disciplined, where you tear through the pages, where addictions become overcome, where challenges become overcome, where they help to uplift you, where they believe on who you are on the inside. And that's why I know I'm a special person, because that's what I seek in people. That's what I seek for the people who want to be a part of the community that I believe in. I want them to become the best self. I want them to become uplifted. I want them to know that they care about themselves enough that it shows a reflection of self-love. That they care about themselves enough that when they push away those type of people, that what they're doing is they're hurting themselves. And that won't bring you closer to positivity. That won't bring you closer to people who truly love you. That will bring you to a place where you feel like you're drowning, where you're putting yourself in a place where you don't believe in who you are. So look inside of your mentality. Look inside of the ability that you have inside. Start connecting your focus and your knowledge, centering yourself, removing the things that are not bringing you closer towards that person inside of who you are, that beauty inside of who you are, that ability to overcome those challenges. Now, if you know who you are, if you're vibrating and if you're actually listening to what I'm saying, if you're recognizing what I'm saying, then reach out to me. And you guys can leave comments if you're feeling the same way. if you're feeling these same kind of challenges, if you're going through these type of things where you're not seeing that for yourself, ask yourself who you have around you, what you're going through, what challenges you're on, if they're actually bringing you up, if they're uplifting you, if they're bringing you closer to yourself, and if you are becoming centered inside of yourself to where you're asking yourself the question, is what I'm doing today, is it inspiring other people, what I'm doing, the actions that I'm doing, is it bringing them closer to believing themselves, is it bringing them closer to overcoming their challenges, is it bringing them closer to being the person that they are inside and seeing the beauty that they have inside of themselves. And I'm going to continue to focus that way. I'm going to continue to be this person. I'm going to continue to be on this mentality. I'm going to continue to go through these kind of challenges. I'm going to allow rejection to come. I'm going to allow people that are going through those kinds of things to ask themselves those type of questions. Is what I'm doing to these type of people positive? Because you know what? You either can be a positive force or a negative force in this universe. You can either start to embrace and overcome your challenges, or you can let your challenges overcome you. It's up to you. And so, if and when, you know, whoever it is out there hears this message, if it radiates inside of them, if they hear what I'm saying and they start to ask themselves those type of questions, you know, it's up to you to want to seek positivity. It's up to you to want to seek out what you're searching for, and it's up to you to want to believe in yourself. And you know, a lot of people, they seek out these scenes and these people that they're seeking approval from people who don't even know who they are on the inside. They don't even care that you improve. They don't even care that you believe in yourself. They don't even care that you sometimes shake and cry, and that the people who truly want to hold you know that they care about you, because they believe that you're greater than your challenges, because they might just actually truly love you. They might just truly be the meaning of love towards you. They might just truly, even through their own challenges, recognize that you're important. And so when you push those type of people away, when you start to say you don't love me because you don't accept me for this addiction or that addiction, when they know that those addictions are hurting you, don't expect them to accept that. Don't expect them to want to allow that to be a part of their lives. It's up to you to want to choose to open yourself up to who you want to be who you are inside, to believe in yourself, and to believe in your mentality. And I'm not a person who can stay silent about that, because I've spent so much time that the only people that I allow to be around me are people that are going to bring positivity towards me. I speak my mind. I speak who I am inside. If I don't feel comfortable about something and I don't really feel like that's a boundary that I'm going to be a part of, I won't allow that to be a part of my life. I won't let that be a part of my mentality. I won't let those type of people who will hold that part of themselves into a place where they want to have that above everything else. And yeah, people might throw roses at somebody. They might go buy fancy cars. They might take you on fancy dates. They might do things that are doing that. But it's not about that. No. It's about knowing you. It's about knowing who you are inside. Ultimately, at a certain point, I came to the reflection that self-knowledge was self-love. That day that I recognized that, I recognize that the people who truly care about you are caring about the person that you are inside. They're caring about the person that you are on a daily, a weekly, a monthly, a yearly. They're there for you because they believe in you. And they believe that you are greater than your challenges. And so they might throw roses at you. They might throw opportunities at you. They might put things in front of you. And if you walk away from those people who truly do know you, who really want to care about you, that want to be with you, that really want to actually be the true essence of what love means, then don't feel surprised if you feel empty inside. If you feel like you've just pushed things that are positive in your life out of your life. Because it's up to you to turn those things around. It's up to you to believe in yourself. It's up to you to see the beauty that you have inside of yourself. And it's up to you to want positivity in your life. Well, my friends, when we're going through challenges, we want to seek out positivity. And life is a journey. It's a path. You find your focus and your knowledge when you become disciplined. When you start to compress who you are inside, when you start to see the beauty that you have inside of who you are, when, the people that care about you will actually see things and they start to think about you. They start to think about your best growth, your best being, your best purpose, your best path. And those type of people want to build with you. They want to care about you. And knowledge is true self-love. And if you're out there and you're hurting inside, look at the people that you're attracting to you. Look at the people that you're bringing around you. Look at the things that you're doing to the people who care about you. And recognize that if you truly want those type of people, if you truly, what a lot of people call love those people, then your motion has to become important in emotion. As I close, I just want to inspire you to be yourself, to love you with true care, with true compassion, with true ability to believe who you are on the inside. As always, connect with the networks: Motivation, Meditation, Inspiration, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Periscope, Twitter. Subscribe. Motivation, Meditation, Inspiration.yoga. And I really do enjoy the conversation there on the Periscope, as well as all those that are a part of my journey, that are a part of my path, that are a part of my purpose. And I believe in you all. I just want to say blessings to you, and I do hope that you have a blessed day, and namaste.